Sup, everybody? You got the wicked lady hippie at the bar. My bar, my rules. Which generally means it's my bar. There's no rules. I like to get up here at least 2 or 3 times a week to show you how stupid I am, purposely for entertainment only. I do not make money doing this. Of course, I'm not averse to making money. I don't know. Background: Army veteran, published author, mother of one, grandmother of two, yada yada. My grandson's also an Army veteran. That gives you a clue. This is why I say hippie. I don't know what's up with everybody else, but I've been enjoying this week. Considering we have gone to war in Iran, of all things, it should have been done well before Secretary Clinton sent them uranium. But I digress. This is about us, it's about the hippies. It's about the fact that we were out there in the 70s, 60s, 70s. We weren't gonna deal with the man. Well, the man paid money, we could buy food. Without a man. Unfortunately, it looks like my age group, we hippies, although my father said, adopted father, World War II, was that for Harvard, was on shore leave. Never, man, it was a mess after that because they couldn't save his buddies. But in any event, he never talked about it. He and his brother. And it was like the five Sullivans. They didn't have five, they just had three. They lost one during Pearl Harbor. The other two were on shore leave. So you can imagine that wasn't talked about much. I like to say a few things about that. Uh, I also like to acknowledge a lot of things while we're up here. Women are now fighter pilots. When I went in the army, I was a whack. But when I landed to go to whack training, I wasn't in Alabama suddenly, which is where I was going, to Fort McClellan, Alabama. I ended up at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And they said, guys, there's no more whack corps. It's just regular army. So you have to train with the men. Exact training with the men. If you can't do it, or if you think you can't do it, go home. There's no stain on your record. If you would like to try, again, no stain on your record when we send your stupid ass home. I'm looking at him like that's a challenge, mother. I'm 5 foot 1, 2, almost 90 pounds. There's one thing I must say though: men can't out clean a woman. Men can't out march a woman. Us is dancing, cadence singing. No, they did not take it easy on us. Watch Private Benjamin, the movie with Goldie Hawn. They'll give you the funny side, a little bit of the rough side, but yeah, and we made it. And now we have women fighter pilots, which is so fucking awesome, man. Respect, ladies, respect. I've seen them put them planes vertical and land them on an aircraft carrier. I screamed running around looking where to send the flower. I mean, respect, total, total. We got women firefighters. None of that was anywhere close to possible, I thought. But then I didn't know I was going to get Army training as regular Army. They had to be, you do the little things, you test things out, you do the range with your rifle and all that stuff. We had to make sure our brass was cleaned and our boots were polished and so forth and so on. They don't apparently do that anymore. They look like they just slept in their uniform. It's sad. It's ugly. It's an embarrassment to the United States, if you ask me. But that's just me. Um, like I said, we were the first company of women to train with the men. That meant there was a company of women per battalion. So that, yeah. So we were good. It was something. They treated us as sisters and equals, and we helped each other out just like you're supposed to. And I still miss it. I still miss it after all these years. I'm retired now, and I work harder than I did when I wasn't retired. But I get up here to opine about a bunch of things, different things that cross my mind. It's a bar. Get over it. Join me. Hit the live chat. It's up there, guys. Throw a comment in. This is live. I do mine live. I'm kind of like Bill Maher. Hey, Bill, love you. And watch this. Is Johnny Carson. Love you, babe. Joe Rogan, love you. It was terrible what happened at News Radio. But still, my condolences. But I've watched you for years. You're great. Shay, love you, babe. There's a lot of us. And when I first started this, I thought, hey, we've got the bar. This would be great. I'll do it from the bar. I'm retired. I'll just do this. I wanted to try it because It was free. For what free is the major thing. And I wanted to reach out to hippies across the United States and elsewhere to join hands again because they're blaming us for the fact that these sorry sons of bitches have been there since 1982 in the Congress and they still get up there every whatever 4 to whatever years and say, we're going to do this. No, yeah, we said that 8 years ago. We didn't do that. So vote for me again. I don't know how many idiots are doing that, actually. I mean, Nancy Pelosi's been there since before she had to have her hair dyed. So Dianne Feinstein died in the hallway. They rolled her in a hospital gurney so she could vote on the Senate floor. You just can't make this shit up. We had Weekend at Bernie's for 4 years. Loved by, you had to love him or hate him, really. The, his family put him through that the people at the White House put him through that shit. That man didn't know. What was it my daddy used to say? Shit from Shinola. And back in my daddy's day in World War II, Shinola helped you get that shine on your boots, shoes. And they freaked because I had accepted the training to be regular Army and did it because the WAC was gone. WACs were disbanded when I landed. There was no, I'll go ahead and be WAC. No. All the women's corps, the waves, the WACs, all that was gone. You trained with the men. And then I heard from my grandson, also an Army veteran. He came back from Korea. He was good. He got out. I don't blame him. But that women train differently now. They didn't train with the men. I said, well, she wouldn't need to be in my foxhole because friendly fire is a bitch. If you ain't trained as a soldier, I don't want you in my foxhole. You want to be trained as a girl? Get into the Girl Scouts or some shit. Don't go out there and be no damn soldier. And I have seen some women soldiers put their lives on the line just like the men. So this is the point I'm making. Even though a few of them say, according to my grandson, that the training is a little different, I believe that's been changed now due to Pete Hegseth. Peace, baby. I was a little alarmed at first. I know when we did the the bombing on all the facilities that Iran had been developing nuclear weapons in. Again, with Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's generous donation of uranium. And of course, I can't remember how much Obama, Barack Hussein Obama sent them in cash. I can't remember, but it was in the billions. We don't need that tax money. We gladly give it to y'all to buy rubbers for people in Afghanistan. So it's like Minnesota. They need it for the children. They need it for there ain't no children there. How many children you gonna get in a Maserati? Huh? Get straps under the hood of a Lamborghini? Yet it took a blogger like me, podcaster, to go out and knock on the door, and they knew. It was like they had a radar. They knew not to let these fucking people in. They was just holding that door. Not a child inside. They finally went to one rundown motel, and found some kids in one room. And I mean kids. I think the oldest was 6 or 7. And that was the daycare. And they were like, okay, so where are the teachers? They're not here. Where are the adults? They're not here. Where are your parents? They're not here. Who's here? We are. I loved watching them repossessing those Lamborghinis. The other thing I'd like to know, yeah, well, I probably shouldn't get into all that because I won't have that much time. My husband was a long haul truck driver. He's an ace mechanic as well. He also was an instructor for long haul drivers. These guys, including my husband, had to come up, dole out $400 or $500 to take the test, and the test was no easy thing because I would go over it with him. And yet, you had people from Punjabi, India, and they were giving them their licenses in Indiana. They're driving through 18 feet of snow. They've got a DOT number that they made up on their door. And of course, the state patrol goes, you need to leave that right there. We're going to tow that. You ain't going nowhere. And just out of curiosity, why are you wearing flip flops? It's 42 below zero out here. So that's been fun. The guy in California that turned his truck and said he was doing a U-turn, he meant to kill those people. That's why there was no reaction on his face, even on that camera. He meant to kill them. I don't care if he didn't know our signs. I don't care if he didn't speak English. He had driven a truck before. Even if that was in India, he had driven a truck before. He knew when he turned from the far right of that section that he turned, that entire truck took up all those lanes. And that none of them would have a chance to stop in time, in particular the one that he wanted to kill. He killed the people on purpose. But I'd like to know how California is just doling out these licenses to fucking anybody. I'm kind of like Cat Williams. Love you, baby. Love you. Missed you. You know, our president don't give a fuck. Yes, it's not for kids. Get over it. Sometimes the sergeant comes out in me. Yeah, a lot. Shit rolls uphill in the army. And if you can't take it, get out. You're not a female. You're not even particularly a male. You're a soldier. And there's a big difference. And there's no other way for me to explain that unless you just do it. And I've seen my girls go through hell out there and prove, yeah, we're just as good. We might even be better, but we are just as good. And I see the men put us on an equal status. Now, if they're not any good, report their ass. Don't get in the foxhole. Don't get in the co-pilot seat. Don't go off and get in an Abrams, will you? I'm good. It's like me when they handed me a grenade. We've been practicing. You got to do this kind of thing. I don't know if you can see my other hand, but you got to lob it. And I was like, you guys got to get the hell out of here because I was picked last for some. Always. When they stopped laughing, they called me wicked. I was the smallest there, but I had the most strength. And I was from Chicago, and I didn't have a rap sheet. And the first, my drill sergeant on the first day I actually got there, which was the fourth day after no sleep, and he said, we jump out of helicopters and we kill people. And I just found that funny as fuck. And I fell out. And he's flipping. Back then you didn't have a tag. He's flipping through the records. He's going, hey, Bullet. I see you here from Chicago. Is that so? I said, yes, sir. Yes, sir, Drill Sergeant. I'm from Chicago. He says, how come you don't have a record? I was like, I tried real hard to avoid that, sir. He said, from now on, you're with me. You're my personal secretary. You can't miss any of this, but you're my person. I didn't sleep for 4 years. So at that time when they did this, they didn't have enough nurses. They certainly didn't have enough in the secretarial area. So I was running whole divisions. And when they replaced me, it was with 3 or 4 people, which always sent me through the roof. I was like, you've got to fucking be kidding me. I was working midnight to midnight. Now you get 4 people? They just didn't have them to get them out of. It was the 70s. We hippies said, oh, yeah, we're going to give it to the man. We gave it to the men. Yeah, we did. They fucked us world. We never got dinner. There's a lot of firsts that I've been in on. Now, if you put that together, I see I've got some stuff here. Let me move this sec out. Again, hit the comments, live chat. Guys, I'm terrible about this. I do this live. You get what you see. If you would like to have me throw some things on, some videos or something, let me know and I'll give it a shot. I'm kind of like Bill Maher in that. If I want to talk about it, I'll talk about it. I've seen it already. Y'all have too. It wouldn't matter who I had on the show. They'd have already seen it 100 times too. And I'm not going to have the same guests as Bill Maher. I'm cute and all, but just saying. Thank you. Y'all are so kind. Now, I got a birthday coming up. It's a state secret. I give you my age, but it's a state secret. It's just that way. You work for the government and the state and all that long enough, you can pull some stuff. I need some strings pulled over here. I'm 37. But your grandson's an Army veteran. Shut up, I'm 37. So I watched a few things today. Nothing set my skirt on fire. Though I got to admit, it's been absolutely hysterically funny on some things. The way I didn't understand that what Democrats and all, made no sense to me. I was one of those who believed in a secret ballot. I found out early on, like by the time I was 18, I was in the military at 17. About 18, I found out the Electoral College votes in the president. Look it up. It's on Google, for God's sakes, don't hate me. And I'm like, well, why the fuck vote? The Electoral College vote is in before the popular vote. And Donald, President, I call him Donnie, President Donald Trump, said this on many occasions. I won the Electoral College and I won the popular vote. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm not really seeing a lot of people going out going, I voted for him. FEMA went through Georgia and South Carolina after Hurricane Helene hit. And believe me, that was a bad time for me. I had broken my leg in 3 places. Surgery was at the VA on the day that hurricane hit, and they had barely bandaged and stabilized this leg. It was so bad, the ankle was detached. I was in a mess, and they didn't give me pain pills to get through any of that. I had enough to the day of the surgery at twice a day. So I can't tell you how bad the pain was, but I wouldn't worry. I might wish it on my worst enemy, but I really don't have too many enemies that I know of. So it was another 2 weeks that University of Augusta got me, and the surgeon came in. And he said, he looked at the chart, looked at me, and looked at the chart, looked at the nurse, looked at me, and said, "You've been this way for a month," and we still had no utility. Augusta was shut down for those nearly a month. And I was like, "No, sir, I haven't." And I was hoping somebody could at least write a pain pills prescription because I'm really tired of screaming. My neighbors are upset, which he thought was cute. He said, "You will be coming back here in approximately 8 hours by 4:30 in the morning. Is that okay with you?" I said, "Yes, sir." And I went down and had the other test I had to have done, EKG and all that. That right then. Got back at 4:30 in the morning, and they prepped me for 4 hours alone before I could go into surgery. Numbing one of the particular nerves in the right leg, numbing it. And it's extremely difficult to get the right nerve and do all this. So I had teams doing this, that, and the other. And them all making me happy or trying to because I couldn't resist to that. I should write another book. So yeah, it was like a 15-hour surgery just to get that stabilized, the ankle and the leg, stabilized and back up. So then you could still do nothing. And ladies, I advise you. I thought, oh, I've been on crutches before. When I first broke it, went to the hospital. It's too swollen. Here's crutches. Didn't think too much about it. I was still okay with the pain medicine. I screamed for 3 hours before they ever gave me any. That's another book. So yeah, they gave it to me. I got home, and I've got to get to the ladies. You can't put weight on that. You're not even try to. But it's only he made sure I was on the right side. My husband did, and the ensuite bath was maybe 6 steps. Well, 8 to get to the facilities. And I was like, 1, 2, catch me, catch me. So it took about 4 months before I could make those 8 steps with those crutches. So if anything does happen to any of my viewing audience that's over 45, make sure you try those crutches and that there's at least 2 people to catch you. The other warning I always give is for adoptees. I'm an adoptee. We were not young. It was me and my sister. We were in ROC. I think it was 7 and 9. And they were older parents, like I said, World War IIers. They paid them until each of the children were 18. It was a new program. So we were on the Parade magazine's cover. And it turns out it's very weird. My husband's sister, who looked this up, yeah, was married to my half brother. So my husband was actually my step half brother. I think that's how that works. Somehow, yeah, like that. No blood relative or anything, but through marriage. And I freaked him all out because I took him back to stand in town with me for 4 years, but finally married, no relatives. It was a awesome wedding. Lil picked us up, man. We was ready to go. No family. You can't beat it if you've got no family. My husband buys me these little whiskey fireballs like you get on the airplane. And people look at me like, oh, you're drinking a lot. Well, this is one of my German shot glasses. My son was born in Heidelberg, Germany when I was stationed over there. But this is one of their what they don't fuck around when they're drinking. They drink. So I like to use that one because it'll hold almost one of my little airplane whiskeys. And they call it a fireball whiskey because at the end of it is this huge burst of cinnamon. It reminds me of when we were kids and we'd get those big cinnamon balls and you could, the hard ones. It would last for 4 days. Keep spitting it out, get it out the next day. Some of the men could do those in a day and a half, but so yeah, it's a burn. What can I say? I'm looking for the rest of the hippies out here. It's Woodstock without cops, without mud. You don't have to pay nothing. Gas is outrageous anyway. I'll take a Zoom call. You can comment. There's a live chat up here. There's never any telling anymore whether I'm going to be here between 12 and 3, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which is what I've been shooting for. My first channel, I was up like every day. Then I had this horrible accident, and I just have so much to do that I don't know where my day goes. So I try to limit it to 3 times a week. I don't have a particular venue when I do this. All bets are on the table. Just bring it. I don't care what it is. I love the paranormal. I love history. I love people. I love us hippies. I want to see the hippies reunite. I want to see us hippies turn around and tell our kids and grandkids who are grown to piss off and stop listening to our music. If they want to hear ACDC, find a band. They give me grief about a lot of shit. And I'm telling I turn around to them, I'm like, you're still listening to my music, bitch, step. Uh-uh. And that's just them. If the advertisement is any good, it's our music. If it's a movie, a good one is Iron Man, ACDC. I mean, it's still our shit, baby. We're home now. We're retired, most of us. We did not put Chuck Schumer in the White House, into Congress, so somebody could. I don't think that any of these elections were legal. I can't for a second believe that anybody would vote Nancy Pelosi in from 1982 to 2026. I mean, explain that to me. Batman, explain that to me. No, I don't believe her constituents are going, well, she didn't do that last 6 years. Let's try to put her in through again. No, I don't believe it. The way she acted to President Trump in the first term, personally, the Secret Service would have had to peel me off of her. There would have been, and she should never have been allowed to remain Speaker of the House. The taking of the knee and all. What the hell are you doing? This is the United States, bitch. You let the rest of these people figure out their own shit. And as far as opening my borders to what they say are 22 million and the gotaways, I'm saying if they say 22 million, it's 50 million. You don't do that shit without a reason. Their reason is, of course, no ID, mail in ballot, and we can continue to fuck you running and screw this country up worse. Oh, no, you can't. We all got tired. And that was us hippies. It didn't matter if we were Hispanic, black, Asian, white, purple, pink. It didn't fucking matter. My generation doesn't, I don't see color. Green, being in the army, we was all green. Uh, if you're going to do a job, do a job. You don't get the goddamn job because, and this affirmative action bullshit, it's discrimination. A Black History Month, it's discrimination. Why would you need a Black History Month? We all know who did what. We had it in History 101. And by the way, I don't know if I'm in an alternate universe or not, but History 101 told me that you had to be an American born citizen to run for any political office. These bitches are up there from Somali, Pakistan, whatever. Ah, they're in our lawmaking houses. They're in Congress. What the flip for? Oh, I know. So Tampon Tim out there in Minneapolis, Minnesota, can rip us off for another 12 billion, or is it trillion now? Let's put up another daycare center for Larry. Get these sons of bitches, freeze their assets, take it. Not just the Lamborghinis. You need to get the sons of bitches that knew this was going on. You got people in charge of that shit. Don't tell me they were not guilty. They didn't know. I don't give a shit. I'm like President Trump. I don't give a fuck. Was it on their watch? Yes, it was. Should they be in jail? Oh, you bet your sweet bippies. Are they going? Probably not. Probably not. I don't know when our country got so weak. It's been bitching me out for 4 decades. Mm. I love these. I quit smoking, and I love these cheroots. I call them cheroots. I had them when I was stationed in Europe because I sold my cigarettes to my landlord. I lived off base, and that was my rent. I had a kid, and they had apartments, and I was in one, but it had 8 bedrooms. There were people there with 15 kids. So I was like, so I started looking off base, and I got me a little BMW, and I lived in a little cottage right off base. I love that place. And so, yeah, I began to smoke these, and they're great. And a friend of ours came out. This is our own bar. It's a big bar. We had to redesign the entire downstairs, which my husband redid everything, hardwood floors, and all that done that I wanted done to slide this bar in here. And we love it. I mean, there's plenty of us around it. We have it's got its own, we put a refrigerator in here, ice maker in here. It's got all kinds of stuff underneath the storage space. We got the big mirror where the glasses all go. I love this thing. But my friends will not come on. I don't know what they're afraid of. They say and I won't change my title, even though this is my second channel, because I took such a hiatus to put the other one on hold, and I couldn't get it to work right. But they won't come out. Most of them say, no, I couldn't. We don't know how you can do that. These are very intelligent people. And this is why I keep crying, hippies unite. We're not stupid. We've never been stupid. We've been overworked. We've been underestimated. And we kept on going anyway. We're not the ones that are fucking tearing down DC. Believe me, I worked there. I used to have a friend, well, I won't say his name, but he was a senator there. He used to drink at the Watergate Hotel all the time, back before they brought it down. And after Nixon, I'm not that old, but we would all we called it the 2 martini and a Valium lunch. I didn't get the Valium, but I did have the martinis. And he used to tell me all the time, you got to go. You got to get out of here. You're going to get shot. You're going to get, and he'd look around. I still teasing him. But it was always, you're going to get shot. But I've worked, when I wasn't even in the military, I always worked in the government, state government, city government, government, federal. So, I mean, I was always up there. And I'm so used to being by a base that I still live next to a base. We moved here because my son asked me to. And he had been surprised by the fact that he had a 13-year-old boy, and they were about to have a baby. So they wanted a bigger house. So we bought the starter house. So now we're all supposed to be selling houses and moving out to 10 acres. I'm not down with that real well, but we'll see how it works out. Uh, we have an RV. My husband bought an RV, like a Wonder Lodge. I may move in there. I'm just, I need to get rid of more shit. I got rid of a house full of stuff. Literally, two other homes were definitely furnished. Tables, and dining rooms, living rooms, bedrooms, all that had to go because we were moving to a smaller home. Instead of 4 bedrooms, we had 2 baths, so 2 full baths. I won't deal with nothing without 2 full baths because you do have guests, and there's privacy as far as that goes. I can't stand all that running around. Grew up with it that way. Daddy, like I said, was a sailor. He was a Navy man. You didn't step out of that bathtub wet. You toweled off in that bathtub and checked it out, made sure it was clean before you come out. He didn't fuck around with that non-hygienic shit. Everett. Oh, God, that cinnamon is so good. I just toasted Sunny D together. I remember. So, I don't know if I'll be up here tomorrow. I see that, and I will try to check tonight. I'm trying to raise a kitten. It's been bottle fed. It's 3 weeks old now. My husband likes to fish. For his first fishing trip this year, he took the tarpaulin off, and there was a baby. There were two. I wasn't able to save the first one, and it was going down. The temperatures were going down. Unusually low at that time of the year, so it's a couple weeks back. So I've got a kitten that I'm raising by hand. Literally, one of us has to have it because our other grown cats like to pick it up by the face and run around with it like it's a squirrel. So to stay on top of that. and still get my house clean, dinner done, dishes done. So by the time 5, 6 o'clock, you look up and it's 7:30. You're just shut the dishwasher and you're pissed because you can't even be off by 6 o'clock. Dudes, when I worked 2 jobs and went to college and had a kid that I was raising myself, I somehow managed to be off by 6, depending on when the second job was. Usually I did that on the weekends. This is a great instrument for the hippies to come out here and say, we're fucking tired of this shit. Quit blaming us. And as for the rest of it, put term limits in. Why is somebody there from 1950? Why is somebody there from 1973? Why is Pelosi there since 1982? Why hasn't anybody put Clinton, both, but especially Hillary, in jail? Did y'all see her doing that interview about Epstein? I still don't think it was about Epstein. I really don't. At this point, to me, it was all hearsay. I can't see how these people were convicted. These women were not gagged, bound, and stuck in the hold of a plane. They were paid. They got on the plane themselves. They did whatever was supposed to be done and took the plane back. So, okay, maybe they were young. I was young. I didn't get on the bunny planes. Did I need money? Oh, you bet your bippy. I needed money. Of course, they didn't offer me the bunny plane, so that could be a. But to me, it's all hearsay. Especially 30, 40 years later, they step forward and go, hey, this guy got. Also, I don't care for Prince Andrew. I know they stripped the title, but to me, what a prince born in the blood is a prince. He wasn't conferred a title of prince. He was a prince born. Now, I don't know why King Charles decided, without even a trial, to take away the title of prince from Andrew. Andrew's always been the bad guy. I love Prince Edward. He's the good guy. Charles is still a jackass piece of shit in my eyes, but I love the monarchy, so I let that, I let that ride. He's the next king's father. I'll let that by. And the boys know what was done. Harry has made his mother spin in her grave for a decade now, and it's like, let me give you a curse at this point. I'm so disappointed in Harry. The Queen loved him so much. He was always the funny guy. He could make her just die laughing. I mean, he had his own good record as a helo pilot uh, in Afghanistan. He served. William served, also a pilot. It, and yet Harry chose to walk away from that. He chose to drag his feet getting there before the Queen died, when she specifically asked to speak to him. Now he'll never know what she wanted to say. It's sad. It's just sad. He kept waiting for that no account bitch he calls wife. I'm sorry. I try not to judge, but I do not like this broad at all. And I don't like what's happened to Harry, what he's turned into. Had his mother still been here, this would never have happened. He would never have married Meghan Markle if Diana had still been alive. She'd have drug him out somewhere and beat him about the head face until he got to see reason. I love Diana. Lady Diana, even though, thank you, Lord, and Queen Elizabeth, she was allowed to keep the title of princess. She had the future king. They stayed with her. But so princess title was not ever taken from her. But in her own right, she was Lady Diana. She had her own amazing historical background, 1,000 years or more, just like the Windsors, as they're now called, did. So, but I loved her, and I didn't like how Queen Elizabeth, and I was so upset with Queen Elizabeth because I adored her. And I mean, this woman was out fighting the Germans in a tank and fixing tanks, and she was a princess. So I like her a lot. I always had. It broke my heart when Consort Philip died because I knew how close they were. Oh yeah, they screamed at each other. All couples do. Who cares? They had to sign non-disclosure agreements. Shut the fuck up. The point being, they loved each other even when it was over. I screamed like a banshee at my son. I mean, sorry, I do it to him too. But my husband of over 30 years. And we both do it. Then we get over it. And we go on. It was the same for Her Majesty. I don't think there'll ever be anyone that can be a better monarch than Queen Elizabeth II was. And I love the motto: never complain and never explain. I adopted it from my own. It's like I love this. Charles, I do worry about him, even though I disagree with a few things. He's still their father. They've lost their mother. And he waited a long time to become king. And I give him full credit for not like poisoning the queen, like it was 1192. But he waited. So as far as Charles III goes, I didn't like him as the playboy prince who destroyed his wife for no reason. She outshone Camilla in just getting up and wiping her face. She had so much class in her pinky, where this other broad, Camilla, has never had that class, ever. Let alone close enough to the Lady Diana. No. No, she don't. And I'm not being facetious, she don't. Catherine, Duchess Catherine, I adore her and William, and they're hardworking, and I pray for Catherine every day. I couldn't believe how big George had gotten. I saw him recently. But I pray for Catherine. I don't want her to go. I don't want her to leave her kids. Still very young, and pretty much would be like Harry and William when they lost their mother. So I pray every day for Catherine. And she's a great lady. She is the real epitome of lady. The other one, by the way, is First Lady Melania. I don't like what they're saying about her. None of it's true. She is a classy, incredibly intelligent, beautiful, amazing young lady. And I think she's actually 50 or so, but you can't tell that. And I personally, I don't know how she has it. Just, somebody would have talked to me like that. I'd hit him in the face and told the Secret Service to throw him over the back wall and don't let him in again. When he was up there the first time, President Clinton, hey, Donnie, I call him Donnie. If you can call Kid Rock Bob, I can call you Donnie. I like it. I love the mugshot, Don. I love the mugshot. That's so cool. Asses to put you through such a thing, to put your family through such a thing. I don't think it just kind of went over people's heads that they actually froze accounts, wouldn't deal with you, wouldn't bank with you. And this kind of shit was going on. They tried to take him off the ballot, then tried to assassinate him twice. Okay, what is this guy so bad about that they wanted him dead? Well, exactly what he did. He closed USAID and all the other loopholes that they were getting millions from. Let alone, we won't go with the insider trading with Pelosi. She should be hung out to dry, like tarred and feathered, rode out on a rail. Come on, bring it on board. Send the damn Blackhawks. It's freedom of expression or freedom of speech. Same thing. So join me, hippies. Let's unite. Let's get together and say, hey, we didn't do this shit. We were frozen out of the government for the last 20 odd years. I know. But they didn't freeze out my kid. So my kid somehow believes everything CNN says. I'm just gobsmacked. I'm like, what? My grandson actually on my birthday got up and jumped up in my face, which is a bad thing to do for anybody, let alone your own grandkids. And he did that in front of my husband, his grandfather. And he said, I didn't know I passed out until I woke up. My husband just slapped him. You don't talk that way to your grandma, because he was lynching toward me and I was ready to adjust his attitude myself. And my husband was standing right between us. And he just bopped him with an open hand. He just slapped him. And that boy, he flew right after that. Once I told my son he had to go to school. He was 13. I'm not going. And I was on the phone. I was going to be late for work. And I read the local newspaper at that time. This is in a small town in Georgia, below Macon. And I just looked at him and was like, I didn't even realize that I hit him with the phone. And down he went. And I just, the wounded soldier lift and threw him in the car, took him to school, rolled him out the back. You away? Bitch went to school. But he never bowed up at his mama again. You can't let your kids do that shit. Are you nuts? I see these people all the time where the kids are talking to them like they just lower than dirt. Mine will tell you, including my stepdaughter. My husband has a daughter. I have one son. The kids are like this type. They're brother and sister. We love that. But we don't take no shit. And even my stepdaughter, she would try to get my face. And after she got up from halfway across the room, she'd go, it's my fault. No, you can't as a parent take grief from your kids like that. And they're teenagers. They're going to get stupid. They're going most of them. They're going to get in your face. If you would stop that immediately, maybe the Menendez brothers wouldn't have had shotguns. I'm just saying. You didn't take that shit when I was growing up. Kids were to be seen, not heard. If there was a party going on at your parents' house on Labor Day and they saw you in the house, you started running to get to the front door. Well, for that matter, when the phone rang, I love today, everybody's got the phone. And they're like this all day long. When I was growing up, the phone was on the fucking wall. You had to be a freaking linebacker and expect a call from me to get to that phone. And even then, I was like, fuck it, let them answer and tell me what it is. And it's just like 40 people suddenly show, who the fuck are you? Trying to get that one phone. One phone. It's one. I finally got my parents to let me take in. They had to come out running on the cable for a princess phone that I got for Christmas. And so I had my own phone. I had my own life, which was amazing in the 70s. It was me and the monkeys, baby. And the Partridge Family. I'm that old. And I've loved every second of it. But I want hippies to unite. Well, we have free ways of doing so that we can speak up and say, no, we didn't vote for that shit. I haven't voted since 1978. Oh, yeah, I didn't vote then either. We need some people to get up here and say, I got balls. Yeah, I'm a hippie. I wouldn't do that shit. Somebody needs to come back up on here while it's free, while we can sit there and say, excuse me, did you okay, do you need this in another language? Lo siento, I'm sorry. Hey, let's try this another way. No habla inglés? Okay, turn them around. You've been here 20 years, no habla inglés? Okay, here's your ticket. I've been to other countries many times. You speak the language when you get there, even if it's just a sorry ass attempt. They appreciate the fucking fact that you tried to speak their language. And you continue to do that throughout the time you're there. That's respect. You're in their country. You expect to go to their country and have them tell you in your language to take the next left, then you're an idiot. You just can't fix stupid with duct tape. You just can't do it. I've seen the Southerners. I've been down here in the South about 3 decades. And I thought I pretty much pegged him before I met him down here. Took my husband, like I said, back to Texas, had a good time. In order for us to get custody of my stepdaughter, my husband's daughter, she ran away at 13. So her mother allowed her to come to Texas. So we got her to Texas. We showed her all that stuff. Had a great time. Then they bombed us with, you can keep her, but you have to move to Georgia. I cried all the way back. I hated it. One of the most corrupt states I've ever lived in. And I said so. I even got a judge recused from the bench once. Tried to hire me. uh, just, everybody says, oh, you got to go to this college. You got to go to that college. You got to have the Ivy League education. No, you don't. You have Google. You want to learn something? Google it. You want to take a degree? Google it. You don't have to take it from the university. Learn. There's nothing to learning but you wanting to do so. These Ivy League schools, all they've been doing is brainwashing these students. When you get out there after October 7th and you've seen women who've been brutally gang raped and then murdered by an M16 that's shot in a place it shouldn't be, then you should worry about womankind across the planet. Instead, you're out there in their little headdresses screaming, Free Palestine. Fuck you. Palestine doesn't exist. Personally, I said, bomb Gaza Strip into Berlin of 1945, where you got some rocks, and that's it. They didn't headquarters for safety. These people didn't leave because they're being used as fodder. Fuck that. Take your kids and leave. Well, they were shooting them. Iran, 35,000 at minimum was shot in the last couple of weeks. Our president stepped in and says, That's it. You can't do that. We've had enough of it. You've been sponsoring terrorism for 50 years. Get out. Oh, you're dead. Well, we won't have to worry about moving your ass. Go, Donnie. Go, Donnie. Um, I'm surprised that I haven't seen more talked about that. I would love to go and see Bill Maher or be on Joe Rogan because they keep it real. And that's what I try to do here. I try to keep it real. If the Black Hawks show up, I'll let you know. I'm kind of holding my breath. Or they may turn this one off, or sometimes they won't let it air. It's why I do it live. It's why I don't give a shit. Uh. This is why my husband allows me my cigarillos. He buys them. I don't because otherwise then I would be smoking. I'd started again. He buys these for me. I vape. And he gets me, they're 5 a pack. And so I smoke them at the bar. And no, I normally, if I'm not here at the bar, I don't drink. It's just probably a pity at my age. I'm a whole lot easier to get along with drunk. And it don't take much once you get to be my age. Does any of you out there want to see me, talk to me, say something? I'm going to be running out of time in a minute. If there's a topic that you want to talk about, paranormal or historical, political, God knows that needs to be talked about. It ain't been done to death. Seriously, we've come a long way in ways to say, that's a shadow person. It's playing peekaboo behind that pillar. It's on camera and now it's gone. Okay, that one might be a ghost because you can see through it. Then you've got some time walkers, and I've seen the timestamps. Then you got people who are running along, and by the third step, they're gone, like an invisible door opened and shut. They got plenty of these clips. People cannot say that the paranormal is not happening. It is. The other thing I thought about was the fact that we had a swarm of 20 earthquakes in Nevada yesterday. That's a lot, folks. Did you know we had earthquakes in Nevada? I didn't fucking know. I've been through 3 in Georgia, 1 in Hawkinsville, 2 here in Augusta. And don't say it down. I mean, I've been at one before that. I was in Italy, in Vicenza, and it looked like somebody was shaking the road like a rug. It was undulating. And I threw all of the women. It was just us women in a laundromat. And I had grabbed my son, who was just a few months old, and I was over there on TVY, which is right there in Germany. And I'm grabbing these women, I'm holding my kid, and throwing them out the door. And I'm not speaking their language very well. It's Italian. I learned German. I hadn't gotten to Italian yet. But Italian is close to Spanish, so I could kind of get across. I had to take Spanish for 4 years. And so I got everybody out of there before it collapsed. And that was the other thing I was telling them, or trying to, was don't stay on the sidewalks. Don't stay next to the buildings. Don't stay in the buildings. Get out where the buildings, hopefully when they fall, they can't get to you. And keep moving. Well, the problem with that was that undulating thing, and the roads and the sidewalks were doing that. And believe me, when it does that, you hit the dirt. You don't mean to, you just do. So that was one of the worst ones I had been through, which was in Italy. And so the last 3 I've been into, you heard the last one here. You could hear the rocks grinding together, and that was the worst sound I've ever heard. And I've been airlifted off buildings in hurricanes, and had been through major earthquakes, tornadoes. Have been through my backyard so many times I can't even tell you how many. The Hurricane Helene, when they hit us and knocked out the entire city of Augusta. I mean, there were so many trees down. You might as well just try to walk, and you barely could do that unless you could climb over a tree. But I couldn't move at this point. That's when I was still waiting for that 15-hour surgery. So my husband's doing everything for me, and he's hooked up fans, and he's got the generator on. He's keeping things going. He's cooking for me and stuff like that. He did so well. And I mean, he had to stand in line for hours in the heat and everything just to get a few gallons of gasoline to go back into his generator. So he was amazing while that was all going on. And we did good. Everything came out right. We had most of our trees came down, but the one grace that we had, they didn't hit our neighbors. They really didn't hit us, but one time, and it pulled all the wiring out of the side of our house. And we had a big boat there, and the boat stopped it, the wiring from pulling out the rest of the wall. Had the boat, if it hadn't got tangled in with it, we had a big boat, and it got tangled in that mess, or the whole wall could have gone. So we were fortunate. He had packed we have a big RV, like a Wonder Lodge, and then we have a big pull behind RV, and he had put them alongside of the house. And we weren't told it would be anything but a rain event. I had investigated it. I didn't see it would be anything when I went to sleep, just trying to make sure I would be ready because I had, the 4:30 appointment for surgery. I had never in the 13 years I've lived here heard it rain or hitting the side of the house where the master bedroom is. I thought it was going to come through the wall. It was hitting so hard. And we had these two huge RVs sitting there. And that's what saved that side of the house. We had trees up and down. There's no trees in our forest anymore. The 2 acres behind us, there's no trees. We left it that way for privacy. And alongside of us, it was a half acre full of trees. Trees were down everywhere, but they didn't hit anybody. They didn't damage anything. We were very lucky. We had glass coffee tables. We had glass tables. We had all of that, front and back. It didn't even move our grill an inch. It took out my hothouse, but that's okay. And it took out our chain link fence. It didn't take out either one of the outbuildings. It didn't take out any of our buildings or the neighbors. And we're talking 20, 30 trees that came down. This was no small thing. The insurance did have to come out, though, and take out 2 trees because they were right over the top of the house. And I don't know if they decided at that point it was a bad thing. There was 2 of them at $2,500 a piece. It's not a simple thing. And my husband and another friend of his went out with their equipment, backhoes and so forth, to help people because people were coming up and charging them $6,000 and getting checks and doing nothing. They would come back. Don't pay nobody till they've done the shit, okay? But they worked tirelessly for 6 months every day to train, to get people's stuff and to move them out where they would be picked up and stuff. So that was great. We did all that. By then, I had been through surgery, and since I was of no help at all and stuck in a bedroom, I was like, go do what you can do to help. I'll manage here. Yeah, the microwave and all that in there. So we were good to go. And he left me well done. So that was also a lot of fun. I just think we hippies need to stand up and say it's enough. Who in the hell is voting for people who are 95 years old and have been in the Senate or the Congress, what have you, for 97 years? When do they need to say, nah, they didn't really vote for you again? Why did they? It's the same old shit. They get up there and they go, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. You had 50 fucking years you didn't piss in the White House. What makes you think I'm going to believe that you're going to piss in the White House now? No, I don't. I don't believe you. And why would you get up there and say, the popular vote didn't bring me in, but I got the Electoral College vote. Well, you get that first. Look it up. This is one of the reasons I generally do not vote. I haven't since I was old enough to understand that the Electoral College voted the president. Look it up. Google will tell you the same thing, I promise you. So I'm again appealing to all hippies. Unite. Come see me. Throw it in the live chat. Throw it in a comment. If I'm not active when you get here, subscribe. You'll be able to know when I'm up and down, and I can't give you a clear time anymore because my life has just turned to absolute shit. I do not know what I'm doing from 1 minute to the next, but I try. But get up here. Let's use this medium that is free for now. It will be free forever. And I don't think they really want to know how we hippies really feel about all this grief, like Weekend at Bernie's for 4 years. Oh, please. This guy, the Easter Bunny had to point him in the right direction, and then the Secret Service would take him out. I watched the man try to sit down. There wasn't any seats for anybody. Then he wandered off into the jungle, and somebody ran over to get him. So I see my husband's going to bother me now because I'm at the end of my broadcast. And if he does that again, I'll make him get on the broadcast with me. Yes, I'm a bit of a bitch. And in the meantime, let me know what's going on out there, guys. The last few comments I got were worse than me, so I thought I was pretty bad. But my time is nearly up, so we're gonna throw it in easy and early tonight. Again, I don't know. Today's Thursday. I don't know if I'll be on again until Monday. You'll have to go ahead and ring the bell. If I'm on, you'll know. Okay? Hippies unite. Let's show 'em what the fuck is all wrong. Peace out.